Hello, I am J-Dog John Karstrom, and I'm out here with T-Bone. Were you just starting to fall asleep, T-Bone?
Very close.
Very close. Oh my God, that is how exciting we are over here. I guess you see this every day, T-Bone, and you just, what are you, totally bored?
No, I'm not bored. I'm tired. Working hard.
He is. Even on his days off, he's out giving himself, creating gardens, and you should see what he's been doing. You've been laying out some slate
Yes, I have.
for Grandma.
Yeah.
And did you say 1,000 square feet of it so far?
Yeah, a little over 1,000.
A little over 1,000 square feet. T-Bone is an amazing guy. If you're lucky enough to have him working in your garden, consider yourself lucky. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. I wanted to go over an update, should I say, about some citrus, because some of you have some citrus and you've had them all year round. And I want to give you some tips on what to be looking for and what some things to be watching out for. Now, if you've had them in the house, you notice that they lost all their leaves. They've looked a little bit scraggly, maybe just a few twigs, and that's how these look like at the end of winter. We didn't bring them in the house. We left them outside, actually under cover, so they're out of the direct rain and the snow and the ice. But they're handling our temperatures nicely. So now they lost a lot of leaves because of the low light conditions, but they've been leafing out. And then when they leaf out, now I just want to give you some things to look out for. Sometimes when they start to leaf out, that's great. You can see this guy's a little bit twiggy still, and he's beginning to leaf out. I kind of brought these three out just to show you some stages on twiggy, more leaves, and more leaves yet. So this is kind of the stages on how they develop. Now, you also hopefully you've brought them outside and you've got them in the heat. They don't necessarily have to have the sun, but they do like the sun, but they definitely like the heat. So if you have a reflective or a south wall or a west wall, they love that reflective heat. So that really gets them into a nice lush look, throws out lots of leaves. Now, you've also probably got some blooms on them too. And you can, and if you have never had citrus before, these blooms are extremely fragrant. This is really, I love the fragrance of citrus. And it doesn't matter whether it's an orange or a lemon or a lime or a grapefruit or tangelo. They're all very, very fragrant. So you'll get these blooms, and the blooms will fall off, and they'll leave a little core, and that is the developing. This one here is Myers lemon. That's the developing lemon. So one thing to watch out for is while they develop these lemons, sometimes your leaves will start to blanch because they're putting a lot of energy into that lemon. So I kind of up that fertilizing a little bit, give it a little bit of water-soluble fertilizer just to make sure things are still very, very green. So another thing to watch out for is the amount of water. I brought this particular one out because it had a little bit of stress during the season, and I wanted to show you right off the bat how that stress looks like or turns into. Oh, it's just this next one over here. Here's the stress right here. When it doesn't get enough water and it gets plenty of heat, your fruit is first to suffer. So these guys will fall off quickly. Your fruit is the first to suffer when it dries out. So keep that really well watered. So that's your another helpful hint on your citrus. Lastly, what I wanted to tell you was that sometimes the citrus really overproduce. And especially here in Oregon, we love to see the lemons and oranges, and they're so great because it's something we don't see every day, and especially on the patio container. I call it a conversation piece plant. Now, I know you guys in California, you see them all day long and you're tired of seeing them, but here in Oregon, it's a great treat. So, but what happens is these guys overproduce. And if you don't pluck them early, what you're going to get is golf ball sized lemons. So do pluck them on a plant like this. I wouldn't get more than a dozen. If you get to 2 dozen, fruits, you're really going to have some golf ball sizes of lemons. So anyway, and then we're going to expect to pluck these guys really well into November, December. So anyway, that is your update on citrus plants. Hopefully that's helpful. Here is your quote, lest you didn't get anything from it at all today. Resolve to be thyself, and know that he who finds himself loses his misery. Thank you very much, Matthew Arnold. That's the show for the day, guys. Always live your passion.
See me right out of the sunset on the color TV screen. I'm